T stands for teaching, E stands for educating, and A stands for bringing awareness. And that's exactly what we are doing. Somebody put me in beef class because I feel like I'm about to go there. Oh, I feel my hip coming up.
I like how she rock it. When she bring that thing over into the ground, she gon' drop it and pop it hard as she can. Got me hard in the past because she out in the stands doing her motherfucking dance, man. Look buddy cute in the face. She rock her hips to the bass. She take a sip and she wait and want to get with Lil J. After she dance on that pole, I pull my can so quick and fast when that ass hit the floor.
Now I got 32 flavors of that booty, listen bubblegum, red, berry, red, cherry, come and get the funny fun. Yummy, young baby, not an ordinary lady. Now I'm driving niggas crazy, really want for what a baby. On the daily, out the hills, so rock my heels, so shake my skills, soda poppy, watch this sizzle, man, this shit right here, the shit smoking on the highest drizzle, wanna taste it just a little, rock my hips and make it wiggle, wave it, spitting, you know,
I like it when she rock her hips, the way and hip. She rock her hips, the way and hip. She rock her hips, she rock her hips, she rock her hips, the way. I like it when she rock her hips, the way and hip. She rock her hips, the way and hip. She rock her hips, she rock her hips, she rock her hips, the way.
I like it when she show me she can rock and roll and drop it to the floor. That's a slow, child is all pro. That's the way to go. Tell her booty, ooh, we got a nigga glancing every time that ass react. I thought a pretty cat. Give me that. Fat cat, no ass on the bill. You got me enticed by the way you run the mill. You's a true girl doing all them tricks. This was something I like that shit a lot. Come and holla at us, though.
I'm the top-notch clever chick. Tell me if I throw it at you, baby, can you handle it? Cause the cause is rushing, if I hate her, wanna run a hill. Step up in the club and have some whispering, goddamn, she said. Take it to the bar, hypnotic and Hennessy is up my lip. Seductively moving my body, now watch me rock my hips. Take a sip of the goose, I'm looking good and living lavish. Big for pimping, popping, dipping, now tell me I'm not the baddest.
I walk in the club and she wobbling and shaking. I wanna take her to the house. So my players start breaking in her motherfucking back like a player supposed. Goddamn, little buddy, touch your toes. Goddamn, little buddy, take off your clothes and let me see that apple bottom in that brown that hole. Shout it, slide up and down on that pole. The VIP side, motherfucker.
I like it when she rock her hips, the way and hip. She rock her hips, the way and hip. She rock her hips, she rock her hips, she rock her hips, the way. I like it when she rock her hips, the way and hip. She rock her hips, the way and hip. She rock her hips, she rock her hips, she rock her hips, the way and hip. She rock her hips. Told y'all niggas, she rock her hips. You gonna have the hope?
My hot girl and your hot girl was sitting by the bayou. My hot girl to your hot girl, I got a hot boy that is fire. Talking about a hot boy, here, hot boy, here, say what? Never get a boy, get a boy, here, and down south here, break it down. And it's from the 17, won't you make noise? I said the first time, Billy got some hot boys. Get it from the 10 wall, won't you make noise? I said the same summer, Billy got some hot boys. Get it from the 2 wall, won't you make noise? I said the Alabama, Billy got some hot boys. Get it from the 3rd wall, won't you make noise? I said the Calio, Billy got some hot boys. Get it from the 9 wall, won't you make noise? I said the 9 Billy got some hot boys. Get it from the 7 wall, won't you make noise? I said the 7 North, Billy got some hot boys. Get it from the 13, won't you make noise? I said the 6 up, Billy got some hot boys. Get it from the 6 wall, won't you make noise? I said the North Key, Billy got some hot boys.
Stop that track. Put them 2 trigger mans on so we can get done with the nigga. We're all the hot boys and the hot girls. We gonna do something like this. Check this out. Follow me now, cause I'm a hot boy. Follow me now,
cause I'm a hot boy. You know I got you. Them haters don't like that. Say what? Them haters don't like that. If you're rolling on chrome and your bang goes fast, I say them haters don't like that. If you know you're looking shy and you keep getting wild, I don't like that. And if you're tatted up from your chest to your back, I say them haters don't like that. If you and your girl cool and you let her wear your shoes, break it down. I say them haters don't like that. I say them haters don't like that.
T stands for teaching, E stands for educating, and A stands for bringing awareness. And that's exactly what we are doing. Somebody put me in B flat because I feel like I'm about to go there. Oh, I feel my hip coming up.
All right. Let me take Tyrus. Now, Tyrus, we'll see you in a little bit, baby. What's going on, y'all? What's going on? Good evening. Now, I told y'all, I really was trying to really trying to stay off of Majorette T for a while. But it's just certain situations that people just feel like the community needs to know, especially when it comes to talking about their team spending money and investing in their kids and investing into their organization. And people just need to sometimes people just need to let loose. And I'm going to let them let loose. Listen, I don't got nothing to do with them. I ain't got nothing to do with it. All I'm doing is providing a platform for the people to come and tell of their experience. Now, there was a competition that took place in Augusta, Georgia just today, hosted by Dynamic Dancerettes of Augusta, Georgia, and Augusta, Georgia's Junior Boom Dance Team. Now, this is their second annual Who You With dance competition. And this competition, I guess, in its own unique way, has gathered the attention of obviously 8 teams that went and traveled to Augusta this weekend. Royal Diamonds being one of them, Divas in Motion being another, Platinum Pressure from Charlotte, North Carolina, Elite Forces of Destruction, Beyond Elite, Classy Divas, Toxic Elite, and Indulgence Dance Studio. A lot of these teams came from out of town to come and patronize this competition, but I'm guessing what looks good is not always good. So basically, there has been some issues that have taken place at the competition, and the coaches want to express their grievances. So I do have one of the coaches now. If any of the other coaches, Scooter from Platinum Pressure or Coach Aisha from Indulgence Dance Studio, I don't think Elite Forces of Destruction or Divas Emotion is going to come on. If they do decide that they want to come on, I can definitely send them the link as well. This open platform. And I also have sent the link to Pam. So if Pam decides to come on, now Pam is one of the organizers of this competition. And let me make sure I send it to her inbox just because I want to be fair all around. I don't want to be biased or anything like that. I want to be able to give everybody an opportunity to speak their piece because evidently there are some disgruntled coaches that have experienced what people would say an unprofessional competition, being that the host. So I'm going to bring one of the coaches on. We are live, and you are more than welcome to come on if you like to explain your side. Okay. So we do have one of the coaches that is on. He's going to come on and just kind of give you guys the background of how his experience has been for this competition. If you guys can, please welcome Mr. Thomas Robinson to the live. Hi, Mr. Robinson. Just for the people that may not know who you guys are, may not know who your team is, can you briefly tell your team what's your team name, where you guys are from, and briefly tell us how long you guys have been established?
Okay, so my name is Thomas Robinson. I am the founder and director for Toxic Elite Dance Company out of Augusta, Georgia. I've been in Augusta for about since 2022, so about 3 years. Um, oh Lord Jesus, today. Ooh,
Okay, let me
I just want
first.
to get into it, boo.
I know it. I just want to ease. I don't want to. I want to ease into it, and then I'm gonna let you just go ahead and go for what you know. Um, how did you? Okay, let me back it up. How did you come in contact with Pam, or you don't know her?
So I know Pam. I've had dealings with her before.
Have they been good dealings? Have there been like issues? Like, has there been
Me.
something about prior to?
Okay, so me and Pam have had prior issues before, but I always kind of always been cordial with her, always been a helping hand. Anybody that know me know I'm always going to help. It don't matter who you are. I'm always there to be a nice person. I don't judge based off of what the community thinks about you or any of that nature. But she already has a bad rep. Um,
What type of bad rep? When you say bad rep, what type of bad rep are you speaking of that
just
she has?
being messy, being messy.
Okay.
Um, that was already a rep that she had. Um, and I'm probably gonna get a lot of bash for coming on here, but like to like out, but I
No,
don't care.
no, you won't because this is your time to talk. Like I'm just
Yeah,
here to mediate. So I
yeah.
don't know who's going to have anything to say.
I mean,
But
I'm not really like I just had to put that disclaimer. I don't care who has anything to say about it because I know what was said, what was done, and I'm gonna speak my truth, and I don't care about like I'm always gonna authentically be myself,
okay,
regardless. So that just to be out there. Um, but this shenanigans that she's pulling, I don't play these type of games. Um, but like I said, our dealings have always been an issue here and there, but then it'll die down, and I always have a respect because number one, she's my elder, and I'm always gonna have my respect for my elders.
can
Um,
you give us an example of like an issue that you guys have tried to? Was it dance related?
yes. So in 2021, yeah, yes, 2022. Excuse me. When I first competition with my dance team here in Augusta, I competed for at it was a Christiana had from DD4LCAT came down to Augusta, and we competed in somebody else's show.
Mm-hmm.
She had an issue with what happened at that show. We won grand champion for that show, and she was the host. She claimed that one of my dancers was too old to dance for me at the moment,
Mm-hmm.
at that time, which wasn't the case. Um, I had to provide birth certificates and all this extra stuff for this dancer, and which I did. I had no problem with that, but it was the fact that you were at the show and you were the host, and you this dancer that you're saying that was over age to dance for you to dance for me, he was on your team like maybe a month before I started my team.
Okay. Okay.
So he danced for you. So if you knew this at the competition that you were hosting, you should have said that then. She waited until a week goes by. We get our grand champion. We get our money. That money spent, baby. So she gets in. She pulls a whole chat. And Monty, she just was the excuse me. She was the MC, not the host. The host was Jefferson County Dancing Dolls.
Okay, I'm familiar with them.
And they're a great team. I love the director over them. She's cool.
Mhm.
But she didn't have a backbone, and she called a meeting. Pam called a meeting, and I've never seen an MC call a meeting a week later, saying, "Hey, we got a discrepancy about your one of your dancers being too old to dance on your team, and blah 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 blah." So I'm like, "All right, cool. So which dancer?" So when she brought it up to my attention of which dancer it was, I was like, "Okay, cool. So what I can do is I'll send up the." his birth certificate, whatever we need to figure out, because he was young enough to be on my team. He was 17 at the time.
Mhm.
So I'm like, all right, cool. We got past that. The host, I said, what do y'all want to do as the host in the team? Because I feel like if Pam had an issue, she should have addressed it at that moment instead of pulling us to another a week after the competition and pulling us into a group chat where she had nothing to do with it because you weren't the host of this show. You were just the MC that now you want to have an issue with what happened at the show. If that was the
And
case,
this is not her show. She was just the
some
MC.
completely. That's correct.
Okay. So that was
So
that was the main issue that you guys had prior to.
that was our first issue that we had, and that was like our main issue. So a couple of years go by. We had a conversation and we talked about it, and I was like, all right, cool. And I just knew, like, okay, when I deal with her, I'm gonna be cordial with her. I don't like to be in mess. Anybody know that's from Augusta? I don't be in mess. Like, I don't like, nobody knows that I'm here half the time. I like to stay in the boondocks, call it like I'm a horrible guy. I like to go under the table and don't be seen. I like to train my girls for college. I rarely do competitions. Like, literally, that was my last competition that I prepared for.
Mhm.
Besides today, so that was almost 3 years ago, and I'm doing my first competition since 3 years.
Mhm. Mhm. Okay.
So I'm not known. I'm not seen. So
Okay.
for you to, but she calls me in to train her girls.
Dynamic
She called.
dancer.
Yes, she called me and train her girls. She calls my other coaches to train her girls. So it's been plenty of times where I've been in your studio and trained your girls. My coaches have been in your studio and trained your girl. One of my captains made a whole routine, whole stand for her that when she did my competition in November, and she pulled some spicy shit then.
Okay.
Well,
Because we laying out all the tea.
I'm
What
getting into it, baby.
what
I'm gonna tell you.
shiesty stuff did she pull?
So I November 17th, 2024, I
Uh-huh.
hosted the competition.
Last year. Okay.
Yes, correct. I hosted a competition. Did I don't want to say okay. So yes, so this woman um goes behind the my back and she goes to the principal and says, "Oh, because it's at Glen Hills Middle School, which is where she works." And originally, I was trying to go through her to book the venue.
Mhm.
Um, and she was like, "No, they don't rent out the gym to nobody out here, but you have to go through me." And I'm like, "All right, cool." And she was like, "No, they just gonna let you get the gym." But I want to hit them amongst myself and got the gym booked the summer prior
This is
to.
what Pam told you.
Yes. So when I got the competition booked, or whatnot. So she goes to the principal, whatever, to the principal because they got a new principal in the transition of me booking of my show. They got a new principal in the transition. So she goes to that principal and tell them that I wasn't supposed to have the show there and all this extra stuff. And I'm like, what do you mean? Because that principal was like, they're not having any more competitions at that show. Now she wanted to have a competition, and I guess he must have like told her no. So she was trying to block it for everybody else, and that's how it's been since we've been in Augusta for everybody at Glen Hills Middle for a minute. So I go ahead the day before my show. The principal calls me and is like, "I need your contracts, which was said that you were supposed to have the show here and this and that." I said, "Okay, that's fine." So I sent over email because I'm a paper trail queen. I sent over all of my contracts, my insurance, my deposit paperwork that I went through the board for. So I went to Richmond County and got it through. I didn't even really truly had to talk to the school because I went through Richmond County. So my
Mhm.
show was a success. Cool. She didn't
Listen,
know.
mind you, again, I just want to make sure I recap what you just said. So it sounds to me is that she was upset because she couldn't have a show there anymore. And so therefore, when she found out you was having a show there, she tried to call the principal to get it blocked for you to have a show there. In all actuality, after you had already did your paperwork, you still were able to have the show there.
Right. So
Okay.
so let me backtrack. In the meantime, while all this is happening, I'm in the unknowing that she is doing this with the principal. Minding she's in my show. Like she was competing in my show, which is weird. I just find that this bitch is weird. Like this bitch is weird. Like for real, for real. So I found out how I found out is the day after my show. I left my mother's walker up there because I take care of my mom. I left my mom's walker up there, and I went up to go get the walker. And the principal himself came out to me and told me not to fool with him.
The principal of Glen Hills Middle School told
The-
you not to fool with her.
yes, because of that she came to him, and that was the reason he called me because I never went through him. I went through somebody completely different because they had, like I said, they was in a transition of moving, switching out principals when I booked.
Mm-hmm.
So I talked to somebody completely different, and they had misplaced my paperwork apparently.
But you had your paper trail. Okay, go ahead.
Right. So I never said anything about it. I just said, okay, I know how to move with him, and it's been cool. So this competition came about. Um, I really hadn't talked to her. I let it be go, be bygones, be gone.
When did you guys register for the show?
So the reason I registered for this show is because of the team Junior Boom, Miss
When
Sheila.
did y'all register for the show?
You said when? I registered for the show in probably like in maybe January.
Okay. And,
So
and and just to be transparent, how much was you guys' registration?
it was 150, I believe.
Okay.
150. Yeah, 150.
Okay.
Which wasn't a problem, which is not a problem. You know what I'm saying? That's not a problem at all.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to kind of give everybody background.
So
Okay, so go ahead and continue.
so and only reason I did the show was because of Junior Boom, Miss Sheila. I love her to death. I don't get me wrong, I love her to death. So of course I said, okay, I'll go and be a part of the show. I'm great with sportsmanship. I'm not a delusional coach. That I'm not one that's gonna say, oh, my team better win. I got the best team. I'm not that type of coach.
Mhm.
So from day one, when I got into the chat, we had a chat. It was kind of it was disorganized, even on kind of Miss Sheila part. It was disorganized. So it was a lot of back and forth of this is how it's gonna go, this is how it's not gonna go. We're gonna change this. We're gonna do it. Like so. I'm like, okay, y'all need to take control of y'all show, like basically, and like get it together in order and figure out what's going to happen. So
Okay.
they finally, because they had the two different teams, Team Boom and Team Dynamic, they finally put us in a group chat. And when they put us in a group chat with all 8 coaches, I had a couple of questions because I wanted just to make sure and be clear that everybody was on the same page because Sheila would say one thing, Pam would say another. Sheila would say something, Pam would say something. So I'm like, okay, I just want to make sure that we all on the same page. So I asked a question just to clarify. Um, Pam got snappy with me, and I'm like, all right. She got snappy
Oh,
with.
she got snappy. Would you give us an example?
So I'll ask, like, say for instance, I say, is there a time? Do we have to mark? Do we have to hit all 4 corners of the? Do we have to start in the 4 corners, or can we? How do we have to go around the gym for this? Hold on, because
It was so simple.
matter of fact, it was so. Yeah, I'm just gonna give the real question that I asked. What was that question? It was.
Something, something about it was something about are we going to do fast, medium, slow?
Okay, yeah. So they had said originally they said that we were going to do fast, medium, slow, and then they said that we were going to do medium, fast, slow. And I just wanted to clarify because we were on the chat on the call, and I said, "Are we?" So I just to clarify, I want to make sure that we're doing medium, fast, slow, or are we going to do fast, medium, slow? And I mean, it's not a big deal. We can adjust to however. So Pam ignored my question. So another coach came under me and said the same thing, and then she answered that coach, but then came back at a snappy attitude with me. Was like, "This is rhetorical questions. Why would you keep asking these questions?" I was the one that asked it.
Right,
Why does that matter? That's what she said to me. Why does that matter? I said,
So
but
you trying to get clarification on how the flow of her stand battle going, and she responded to you and said, "Why does it matter?"
yes. And I was like, but she had been snappy with other coaches throughout the entire thing. Like she was already being snappy with those other coaches. So I'm like,
And then none of them
so
other coaches check her.
nobody was wanting to check her, but I did. So I said, I don't care about how anybody else is on this chat. You can talk to me. You're gonna talk to me with some type of respect because I'm gonna talk to you respect, and you're not gonna talk to me like a child. So it went from there to she said something to the fact of I'm not coming at you sideways and this and that. So I was like, first of all, let me tell you something. You are being very petty because I know how you move. and this is what it is. I'm just telling you, at the end of the day, you're not gonna talk to me like that. Point blank. Period. So she blocked me. She took me out the chat, and I still was in the boom chat because they had another chat. Then she goes on Facebook and make a subliminal message about me, and
So
then
wait, so after you had addressed her, she removed you as a registered coach out of the chat.
yes, but had my other coaches in there. And mind you, I'm the director.
Okay.
So she removed me out the chat, and I'm like, all right, cool, that's fine. But then she turns around and make a subliminal message on Facebook, and so I tagged her, and I was like, if you gonna make subliminal messages, make sure you tag me in them, please and thank
What
you.
was the subliminal message? Do you remember
So
what
she
it
was
was?
like, I'm too old to be sitting in group chats and talking and arguing with little people, with young people that don't even still got Similac or something on their lips or something she said like that. And I was like, this bitch got me fucked up. So I was like, so I tagged her and I was just like, you gonna make a subliminal message? Make sure you at me. And she deleted her post. I deleted mine because she ain't saying nothing. Then she goes in the chat the next day. Mind you, she called me and I was doing something. And I was like, I'll call you back because she texted me. She texted me. She said something. Matter of fact, let me go to the message. Can y'all still see me?
No, it's black, but we can hear you.
Okay, cool. Hold on. I'm gonna go to her message because I don't want to lie on nobody. Oh, she didn't block me.
Oh, so you can't see the
Oh, never
message.
mind. I can see. Hold on. I think I got it. Hold on. So she called me. This happened March the 11th. She called me and I said to her, I was like, I saw that you called. I was asleep at the time. I'm sure that you're probably in class at this now. But I wanted to reach back out to you because there was a few things that I wanted to address with you, and want to make sure that I'm on the same page moving forward. First, I want to acknowledge that I understand that your personality is very strong and upfront, but mine is as well. I know. I know when someone is being sarcastic or not, and I never came at you in the chat being disrespectful or rude to you. However, your words like it doesn't matter, and after I asked the question, was a disrespectful point blank. It was disrespectful point blank. Period. I addressed you professionally, and instead you responded with the understanding of just to reply, just to have a response, not to hear me out. I said you. I said you. What really crossed the line with me was the subliminal message that you posted on Facebook. Like I said, on Facebook, like you said in the chat, it felt like if I felt some type of way that I should have called you or DM'd you personally, privately. I said that's the same principle that applies instead of going and sharing the information on indirectly on a post. I said I'm not one for games, so do not play with me like that. I don't appreciate that, and moving forward, let's be mature and respectful toward one another. Let me know when you're free so we can talk a little later. I said I have a busy morning. That's what I said to her. And she called me. I was busy when she called me. Then I called her back, and then we had a little conversation. And it was like, okay, we addressed that situation, but it was never like she took accountability. She just was like, that's just my personality, and text to come off rude. So mind you, she never put me back in the chat.
I don't know if I entirely agree with that because text messages can be misconstrued. However, a response to say, why does it matter when a registered team is asking for clarification? That's definitely not perceived as, oh,
And
my,
I
that's
got I could screenshot that and get into it if you need me to, because
no,
I just send the
no,
screenshot.
no me. So go ahead and continue.
So that was the like one of the other strikes. So and it's still more. It's still like she still like she was still poking at me entirely before that. So that was just the where I had the point of like I'm not gonna keep telling you to poke the bear. So that was just one of that. So did we get to the composition today? Everything is going fine. I check in, go to my room, get everything started situated. Now, simple one, when I text Sheila, and this was not a Pam issue. This was a Sheila issue. And if I'm address one, I'm address all. Not like I said, I love Sheila Duff, but I'm gonna speak real.
Hmm.
I called her and I was like, hey, I'm gonna be about 10:30. Um, I'm running a little bit behind because I'm doing makeup. We was doing makeup. Cool. So mind you, she said check-in time was at 10:30. So that was fine. So I had maybe two girls that was with me. that I still was doing makeup at my studio, and I sent the rest of my team on. So my other coach had went into to check us in. Now she texted me. My coach was at the door, and this she called me roughly around like 10:20, 10:25, and she was like, hey, can you get Sheila to come to the door? Somebody because nobody's coming to the door for us, and we're here outside. We're trying to wait, trying to get checked in. So finally, I call Sheila. Sheila ignores my call. I call her back. She answers the phone and put me on hold and don't say nothing. And then she answers the phone. I'm like, hey, my coach at the door. Boom, 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 boom. So all right, cool. So they go to the door, check them in. They get in. So I get there late, and I'm like, okay, have y'all been on the floor to mark the floor yet? Because if that's the case, the other two girls just got to sit out. And she's like, no, they haven't came and got us yet. And this is like 11:40. I mean,
And check
like 11:15.
30.
Yeah, it's like 11:15. So I'm like, that's weird. Like already off rip. That don't sound right. And mind you, so it was like 11:15, and then we had the coach meet at like 11:30. So I went down and I was like, hey, can we mark the floor? She was like, nah, y'all was late. I'm gonna try to see what I could do.
Who said that?
And this is what Sheila said. So I'm like, all right, cool. If we can't mark the floor, that's fine because if we were late, boom. And I was like, so I had to check with my coach because I'm like, what time did you get there? I forgot. Like so I'm like at this moment I'm coming to my coach was like, I thought you was supposed to be here ahead of me and you got here late. So what was the issue? And so my coach was like, no, she checked us in and she said that she was gonna send somebody up here for us to mark the floor, but she never did. So when I brought it back to her, she was like, "Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh my God, I'm so sorry." So y'all gonna go in, y'all gonna go in after our coaches meeting. So I was like, "All right, there's nobody on the floor now, so why can't I just go ahead and go? And while we're in the coach meeting, my other coaches can go ahead and handle that, so we can get the show on the road after the coaches meeting." So we go on the coaches meeting. It's another disaster. So they're going in there, they talking, they don't everybody like what's the direction of what's gonna go on with stands. So because they were like a team had pulled out, so it was three teams on one side and four on the other. So how was they going to do it? They wanted to figure out. They said they were going to take one team, whoever got the lowest scores. They were going to take their side. They divided a half and give it to the other side to make it seem. I'm like, it just don't make no sense. I said, like, so why don't y'all? Somebody said, why don't y'all just take the fourth team, whoever got the lowest out of the four teams, just don't include them at all, so that it's even across the board.
Mhm.
Because if they had a fourth team, if they scored whatever their fourth team was low, it still would equal out to be the same. You know what I mean? So I'm like, okay, that makes sense. So they
No, and for the viewers, so because I don't want to confuse them. So for the viewers is watching, this competition right here that was hosted in Augusta, Georgia. Let me pull it back up. If you guys have seen this flyer, this is the second time that Dynamic Danceress and Junior Boom has did a competition like this. And basically it says four grand champions. Four grand champions, basically, they have four teams on Team Boom, four teams on Team Dynamic. They take now. Let me make sure because it still is a little bit gray area to me, Thomas. But
baby,
they
it was gray
take
area to us too.
score of what now to determine who wins grand champion.
So how that's what so they were so originally it was supposed to be four teams on each side. So whoever out of the four teams, whoever scored whatever four teams scored the highest. So basically, if Team Dynamic, if they scored the greater score, they want all four of those teams run grand champion. If
Okay,
Team
so
Boom,
Team Dynamic and Team Boom. So basically, all of them do their walkthrough. All of them do what was the second category?
so it was walkthrough into field. Then it was a coaches battle.
So it's walkthrough going into the field show.
Yes,
So are you saying they combined the two categories?
yes.
So was it a regular field show? Was it an HBCU field show? Was that
No,
even?
it was more of like to be honest with you, like more like a little creative field show.
But you did your walkthrough into the creative field show. Okay. So
Right.
basically, what I'm hearing you say is Team Boom did their creative with their walkthrough. Team Dynamic did their walkthrough with their field show. And the team, when they added up all of the scores from both teams, the team that had the highest score,
Mm-hmm.
that team won. All four of those teams that with their stuff combined, all four of those teams won grand champ.
Yeah.
Okay. So we are at the competition. The competition is now started 2 hours later.
Yes. Yes.
And
So
y'all
it's
are at competition. So we're at competition with walkthrough. Now tell me, How's the competition going on from walkthrough?
So walkthroughs going. Walkthrough went kind of okay. It was the first category. It was cool. It wasn't until we got into, uh, what,
Oh, no, it was somebody else too.
no, there was an issue with another. For me, walkthrough went fine, but there was an issue where I think it was Divas Emotion, if I'm not mistaken. But it was one of the other teams where they like the DJ literally was not the DJ, the host, excuse me. The host of the show, he was on another. He was drunk or something. MC, he was drunk or something. But
Who was the host? Do
they
you know?
I don't know him. I've seen him around, but apparently he stopped. He had the DJ stop the music of the other team on the floor. Whatever shenanigans happened, I wasn't there to know what truly happened, but it almost caused a fight. Like I was in the walk all the way walking out, so I seen all the coaches around the DJ booth, and okay, because they didn't have any like mics up, so that's how I found out what was going on. I just walked over, and I was like, okay, that ain't got to do with me, so I walked off. But I don't know the extent of, but they was about to fight, like fist fight, him,
Can I
her, and the host.
can I ask? Do y'all know who the judges were,
Um,
or do y'all even know the judges?
I know, I know who one of them is for sure.
Who
Um,
was it?
it was Ishmael was one of the judges. One of the judges. He was cool. Um, it was
Uh,
this other guy. He said what now?
I don't know him. How many judges was it?
It was three. It was a young lady and two males. It was some guy from Atlanta. His I know his team is called like something, ladies and gents or something like that. Apparently in Atlanta.
You talking about
Um,
Maurice
yes, girl.
with the
And
dreads?
yes,
They
he
had the
have no
drill
reason.
team.
Mm-hmm. So I was like, wow. And that's what I said. Why is he? Oh yeah. So I'm like, why is he judging? But mind you,
That's what I want to know.
like, so that's that. So there was a so going into stands, then this is the issue. This is gonna be a kicker because I know that this is nobody has ever seen this happen before. So we go into the next to the stand battle round. So my team is up, and the host is missing. Nobody's on the floor. Nobody's
The one
so
that you
all the
said was
teams.
either drunk or something.
Yes, all of the teams were on the floor ready to battle. We were standing there for about 15 minutes. I took the mic from the DJ, went to the middle of the floor, call all the captains. Mind you, one of my team. This is how crazy it is. My team was on the floor, and I said,
Where was Pam?
I don't know. She was missing.
Where was the other lady?
I don't know. So I'm so serious. I don't know. So I'm
So
like,
you get the mic and start hosting the stand battle, and you're a competing team.
yes, yes. This is not exaggeration. I'm my Ike players. So, and mind you, everything else was so fucked up. It was like crazy. So and mind you, that was the fastest round. Um, so I did the rock papers. I did the rock paper scissors. Had your team, and I introduced the teams and everything. And I was like, okay, so this is who. This is who. You who. And I'm even. So when they finished, even I said to the judges, I said, judges, who did you eliminate? And
Jesus.
After the
Try,
round was
try to
done,
get it
it
out,
was
Thomas, because I'm
so
confused.
So right, exactly. We was all confused. How you feel right now is how we feel. We still feel like this. We're confused. We all are still confused because nobody knows what the fuck was supposed to go on. We are all confused. I am not trying to be mean, but we were just confused. Nobody knew. It's like everybody was a little slow. Like I swear, we was, and I
So
hate.
let me piggyback off of that because I really want to understand what actually was even discussed in the coaches meeting. So y'all didn't even know how stand battle was going to work.
So we knew how stand battle was supposed to work. They were missing, so that's why I got the mic because nobody was out there to call them to say, "Hey, this rock paper scissors flip a
Did
coin."
y'all know the order of who was going against who?
No, We knew the order who's going against who, but we didn't know like who was gonna go first, second, or third. So we brought, you know how we go in the middle of the floor and call, and I was like, okay, rock paper scissors. We did a three-way battle, boom boom. So it was like 1, 2, 3, cool.
Where is Pam at? Pam, I sent you a inbox with the link, and she looked like she looked at it. Would you like to come on? Cause baby, the people need to know what happened.
Right, please, because since
Cause
you wanna,
cause yeah, I sent her a message and she looked at the message and she hasn't responded. But
and
go ahead.
honestly, I was good with everything until so basically the bullshit started was going on throughout the whole entire show. It was so finally they finally come back. Pam takes over the mic, and Pam is like, well, being Pam, she said, I was in concessions at this point, so I don't know what's going on. Boom, boom, boom. And it's possible that she probably was in concession. I don't know. But it's two of y'all, somebody should have been around. You know what I'm saying? So get her filled in. It was moved forward. It's time for them to go again for because this was mini stands. Now that this and it moved on to combined stands, which is fine. So we get to the middle of the floor. So they said that since we have four teams on our side, whoever picked number four will go into round two. Um, they had the opportunities because we've practiced for our fast to be on the floor and do our fast stand. And this is what was talked about in the coaches meeting. This was so I had picked number four and I had made sure that that is what was said. You know what I'm saying? I clarified. I'm one, like I said, I'm a paper trail type person, so I want to make sure what you said.
Right.
Boom. So we go out there and Pam calls all the coaches to the floor and she tells me to my face, y'all not doing that stand. And so I said, why not? And she was like, it's my show, my fucking rules. Bitch, now you got me fucked up. So at this point, I done hosted your motherfucking show, and you brought your bitch ass out here, and I'm gonna say it just like this because you want to threaten me on Facebook about getting your husband to whoop my ass when I didn't even say anything to you about fighting
Which is out of order.
and out of pocket because she got an out of pocket bitch when she did that shit. I don't threaten nobody. So we'll get to that a little later. But I don't threaten nobody. Bitch, you had me all the way fucked up. I'm a little loony. I'm a little crazy too. So bitch, don't fuck with me because I know where your studio at too, bitch. Like you know where mine is. That's what you said in your fucking post. Bitch, one thing about me, I pulls the fuck up. I don't sit here and talk about, oh, I'm gonna get somebody to beat your ass and not do it.
Well, that's very, very serious accusations. But
Oh, wait, an accusation. I screen recorded it.
But go ahead and continue.
So Lord Jesus, I forgot where I left off at. So anyway, what was I at?
Oh, you said you left off when
So,
she said it's her fucking show.
yeah, it's her fucking show. All the extra. So I'm like, oh, bitch, no, my girl's practicing for this motherfucking routine, and they're going to do this motherfucking stand. If we got a motherfucking dance, this motherfucker, while y'all all dancing on this goddamn bitch, they gonna do this goddamn stand because y'all said that's what they can do. You're not gonna tell them that they can't do it after y'all just told them that they could. That's
So
unfair.
those that are just coming on just to do. I'm sorry, Thomas. Those that are just coming on that's asking to recap. Quick recap. Went to a competition in Augusta. They're saying, and I quote from what Thomas is saying, and a lot of the other teams had a bad experience. A competition that was hosted by Dynamic Dancerette and Junior Boom. They did not have the best experience today. They said the host of the show, which was Pam, was very disrespectful. She was cursing at the coaches. They really did not have a professional experience as far as in the flow of the show. No one knew what the rules were, and then it was 8 teams, but it was a 10-hour show.
Shit.
So
Yeah, that shit was
pretty much
terrible.
basically telling of basically their experience, you guys, of what happened today. And there were posts that was made by the director, Pam, on Facebook talking about she would get her husband to pull up and whoop Thomas's ass because they told her and they addressed her on Facebook, basically stating, why didn't you keep this energy in the private chat and you brought it to Facebook? So now they're bringing it to Facebook. To sum it up. But okay, so we're at the part where she's cussing at y'all. Okay, so did she like? Did y'all end up doing it? I mean, y'all did the stand.
Yeah, we wound up doing it. So we wound up
Okay,
doing staying. Everything go by. We do like they do everything. The grand champions. Okay, boom, 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 boom. Cool. So now I get my score sheet, and they said that in stand and not in stands and walk in the walkthrough that we didn't touch the four corners. Now it was clarified that if you started in the four corners, that's considered you touching the four corners. I have it recorded by she. I have it recorded a voice memo of her saying that. Well, Pam saying Sheila saying that was okay, and I asked it again with to Pam, and she said it was, and we started in the four corners. Our routine, they did a sachet from one corner to the next corner, and they did a sachet step leap, and then they entered to the middle of the floor. So one of the judges basically said on the so they touched all four corners. The judge said verbatim, Exhibit A, the packet states that you hit all four corners. 5 points deducted.
and
Submitted
what
into the
judge was
database.
that from?
Who judge was that from? Somebody with a scribble. They didn't write their name.
It's him.
Yeah, Maurice, bitch ass. Oh, excuse
Oh,
me.
that was Maurice,
Yes, that's the M, Maurice.
the drill team instructor,
Mm-hmm.
She was that. So.
and he took off 5 points. Which let me just help y'all out. Traditional competition, it's a point per flaw. So
Mm-hmm.
5 points.
Make sure. So I feel it.
Okay, go ahead.
So he took off 5 points, which is fine. Now none of the other judges said that, but okay. Um,
Can I see the score sheet? Can you hold the score sheet up to the camera? One of my judges is asking, is that the score sheet that we've been? Oh, it is. Let me see the whole score sheet. Is that the score sheet that we banned? Oh, Scooter said it's actually worse. So let me ask y'all that. That judge, Maurice, took off 5 points. What did the other two judges give y'all in that same category?
um, hold on. That's Phil.
Wait,
Hold on. This is Phil.
oh, so,
So we had a 78 and a 74.
So how many points did they take off points for the same thing he did?
No.
So the highest score
No.
that y'all could have got was 100, right?
Mm-hmm.
And y'all were on Junior Brooms squad. So
Yeah.
y'all still won y'all grand champion because all y'all scores added.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, okay, go ahead.
I mean, which is fine because I'm like I said, I'm not. But it was just the fact that they said that. So as I'm trying to find one of them because the judges had left, they didn't stay behind. Like when I do host shows, I always require my judges to stay behind and
Right.
be able to
Because
have conversation with the team, just in case, because I know for like this right here, I know for sure I started off my routines touching all the corners because it started off where the music started and they were like one, two, three. It was like a ripple effect, and it was it wasn't like a traditional walkthrough. It was like a lyrical piece, aka like a kind of ballet piece. So that's what that was. So I know for sure that they started off in those corners because I had one girl in the not in the middle of the floor, but she was in the center of the line, and it was on all four corners.
Scooter, check your inbox. The Scooter saying Buddy left before the stands ended.
He
So
ain't
he
lying. I ain't
already
get there yet.
knew.
I ain't get there. He right. He right. The
He's
buddy left
talking about
before.
Maurice, the judge.
Yes, yes, yes.
So he
I hope
still is supposed to be out there judging y'all, and he left.
correct. So Scooter is correct, 100%. He left
Okay.
way before.
Scooter, I just sent you the link. Go ahead.
So minding you, so that goes on. So now everybody's in the chat basically. Like I'm not like the chat that I got kicked out of. So the chat that I got kicked out of, there was coaches that were saying it was unprofessional stuff, blah 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 blah, all that stuff.
This
So
is
my
Africa.
This after the show.
Okay.
So they're all saying it and they're giving it like reviews. So my coach said her review about the show. Now, mind you, I have nothing to do with what's going on in this chat, but my coach said what she said to her
And
and
she
was
over
like,
there with you now.
yeah.
So what?
So
So Coach, is it Asian?
Aisha,
Aisha, Coach Aisha, what exactly did you say to make her go to Facebook and make that post about you? And give it to me raw, straight, and uncut, verbatim.
Yes, ma'am. So I basically said, well, mind you, other coaches as well has said the same thing. It was probably like three other ones as well, saying how unprofessional it was and la la la. Just going on a whole tangent about their experience, their negative experience about the competition as well. So when I made my post, I said the same thing. I said honestly, I'm not surprised about how much work because it's been like this the whole process. Something about however I'm worked for that my team gets to hit the floor since this was their first competition. Um, how it was a lot of messy drama, like even before that, it was like a lot of messy drama stuff, like a lot, and just my experience with Pam in general. I was like, and
Stop right
Miss
there.
and
Hold
what
on,
triggered her. What's
hold on,
that?
Aisha. Speaking of that, there was something that was disclosed to me prior to this call that you guys stated. Can y'all reiterate what y'all had told me prior to us getting on the live about her telling people's business of the team that dropped out? Can y'all
oh
because
yeah.
people need
So
to know exactly what
so
was
there was
said.
there was a team.
So this right here is gonna gag y'all.
At the
This right here is gonna
competition as
gag y'all.
well, I didn't like that as well. So at the competition, it was two coaches meeting. So he had went to the first one. And I don't know what was going on, but it was, I think that was like the hour long, whatever. It was like for a little minute of their coaches meeting, whatever the case may be. And then it was going to be another one. And then he was like, oh, no, I can't do this. So I ended up going to the coaches meeting. And so my experience there, when I came in, immediately she started going on, well, this is the reason why this is
This team has
we didn't have this together and la 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 la. And then somebody else saying something, then she'll go back and say the same thing.
no.
And then she will start to spill this. She started saying something about exactly. She
You
started saying
said that
something
word.
about
She
the
said.
reason why I got it. She started saying the reason why they ain't going to the show and stuff like that is because somebody had lost their twins and stuff like that, and whatever. It was just a whole lot.
Personal
a
stuff.
lot,
So she
right?
told the personal business of another coach and why they dropped
Exactly.
out.
So
Yes.
the other coaches are looking at each other like, why did she just say? I
Right.
Pause.
just want to know,
Pause.
like, are we
Hold on.
gonna
Hold on.
rematch it?
Hold on. Right quick. Pause. I got Scooter on from Charlotte.
Platinum Heat.
Platinum Pressure. Scooter. Was that what you heard in that coaches meeting as well? Scoot.
Can y'all hear me?
I can hear you. Are you in the car speaker?
Hell no, the phone fucked up. I dropped it at the competition.
Okay, you dropped it. I can hear you though. Just speak a little bit louder. Was that the same thing that you heard in that coaches meeting, or her saying that someone had a miscarriage?
So it was somebody lost their
So you
twins.
said, hold on. I want to make sure I got this clarified for everybody.
said
I'm
somebody
not
lost their
messing. I'm just reporting. So what they just said was Pam came to the coaches meeting. And they're saying this is how messy she is. That she came into the coaches meeting and told the coaches the reason why the team that dropped out was because the coach am I correct? The coach of that team had a miscarriage.
Something like that.
They had lost. She said specifically they had lost their twins. That's what I said.
Because y'all know I'm straight up. I'm always keep it a buck. I wouldn't say that the goal for her saying it was to be messy, but I think it was just overshared. I think the best way that situation could have been handled, it just could have been, this particular team did not contribute to the personal reasons. Because even then, and just being transparent, even when we was in the coaching meeting, she was like, y'all want to, reach out, send your condolences, etc. Y'all can do that.
Okay, so it wasn't brought on as a messy way, but still people perceived it as that because
I wouldn't
okay.
say it was messy.
Well, I just let me say something. I like this. So before, like before that, there was when I had the issue with her. She brought up some type of school shoot. Like it, like so, it's like she
like talking
that to me
she talk
personally.
like that when she wanted
Not
to mess it like spread something like that.
so be
But
honest.
outside of that, she treats you and talk to you like demeaning. That is crazy.
So hold
That's
on, hold
insane.
on. But the fact that when she said it, even though even if it wasn't to be messy, to say somebody's personal business like that, you don't do that to nobody. You don't put that personal business. That is this. That's the utmost disrespect. Even reaching out, oh girl, I'm sorry that you had a miscarriage. I'm
Because
girl, girl.
how do you know that coach even wanted that to be out, or
Right.
that she
She
would even
trusted.
want anybody to
Exactly.
She
know?
trusted that with you.
Even as a person just going through miscarriage, that was
So
crazy.
that to me is just disrespectful. I'm just not going. I'm not one to go. I'm gonna call you and say, "Oh, this is what happened," and I want you know to tell my business out there like that. Don't tell them people that. I'm calling out to tell you this is what happened. But you could say like he said, it's a personal matter. Let's go ahead and go about our business. But how she brought it up was being to me that is
Prolonged.
and it was
We were
prolonged.
all like, okay, so what are we gonna do? And then we eventually started picking. They
So
eventually started picking numbers.
hold on. So this is what it came into y'all. What y'all said? Y'all said her attitude is different when she brings mess. It's not as bitchy. But when she want to be over some stuff, or she trying to dog get have her way, that's when she start being real catty and petty and bitchy.
Correct.
Uda, do you get that type of feeling? Did you get that type of interaction with her?
No, but I say that today was my first interaction with this woman. I don't
Okay.
have. I really don't know this woman. I didn't do that.
Because
Okay.
I believe you got out. I think he wasn't in the chat, was you?
No, y'all, I left that shit. But see, we gotta start. Y'all gotta start up. See, y'all miss like that was like.
So yeah, so we
Go back
basically
to
went. They basically went over from the beginning of basically the competition starting damn near 2 hours late. Then it got to um Pam and the other person over the show could not be found. The host ended up leaving the show. Just a quick recap. Thomas had to get on a mic and pretty much run the stand battle
yeah.
because
See, that's what I'm saying. Y'all missing detail. Okay, so check this out. So mind you, we did the coaching. Every team was like in the coaching. So y'all gotta
every
see.
team wasn't in
Y'all
the
gotta see
coach's
the
meeting.
whole.
That was
Yeah.
the
So
now that was the
so
first
we had a
issue. Now
coaching meeting. Coaching meeting was like, I swear to God, bro, like at least 45 minutes. But then even after we summed it up, it was brought to everybody's attention that the reason why the other two teams was not in the coaching meeting is nobody ever went and got them. So we drew
that
numbers
is correct.
to
That is
everything.
correct.
So basically, what he's saying is because I know people are saying they can't
Hold
hear
on.
him.
Can y'all still hear me?
We
I
can hear,
can.
but it's like real low.
Hold on.
So basically, what he's saying is basically the first coaches meet one number 5 minutes because all the coaches wasn't there. So that's probably why they called the second coaches meeting. Okay. So
No,
we're
it's
so we're out of the competition at this point. The conversation is being talked about how y'all are giving the feedback of basically them telling
Alright, I'm back.
y'all.
Alright, so we got a drew numbers and everything, right? So we walked out, we get the show started. They finally kind of was like, we have a coach. I'm like, which we done had the coach. Y'all number one, y'all number two, y'all. They had a problem. And I get it. Their issue was we had a whole coach, and I do feel like we had to be
I can't hear him.
even
Yeah, it's
I don't know.
it's your phone is like really really low, so they can't hear you. They said Scooter join with your laptop because it got worse. I'm gonna take you out of it. Okay, so Pam just responded back to me. She said, "Of course not, because I have way too much to lose, and what I'm not going to do is entertain lies. He is on his soapbox, and that is fine by me. I don't need a platform to address any issue with him. We stay in the same city, and he knows my number and my address. He is exaggerating the truth, so this is what he wants. Tell him to have it at it."
Well, then let me go at it then.
But I kind of don't like that because you made the post. So if you have so much to lose, why would you
Why
make
would
a
you make the
post
post?
with a threat? Like that really is kind of like asinine to me. So you don't want to come on to address what he's saying. You're saying he's lying. So you're not wanting to come on to defend. However, you made a post about having your husband find him and do bodily harm. She now saying, "I will address him when I see him." That's what she said. Pamela Usury, USRY. This is what I don't like because at the end of the day, had like y'all said, had it's been on another foot where Pam was not in the hot seat, Pam will be on this live. And that's why I think sometimes people be getting this platform misconstrued because when it's about somebody else, they are here for it. But when it's time to bring you to the forefront, now it's I don't want to entertain the lies.
But you went on like that was a
But
point. I
she
guess
went on
she
Facebook and made a post and tagged this young lady, and then went so far to tell in the post that you would have your husband beat up Thomas because of
right.
something that you did not do. Like, I'm just,
It don't make sense. Like when she made the post, I just first of all, number one, I didn't disrespect her. I just said, Pam, this is you are really petty. You act like the victim when you really are. You are the villain. And I'm not. My coach does not go on. She never be in the dance where she had barely even know anything about Majorette. So when she comes in here and she says something, it's valuable. And she didn't address you on a post. She came in a chat where you were at, where everybody was giving their feedback, but you wanted to address her on you wanted to address her because she left the chat. She left the chat and you made a post about her and you tagged her as the director of this organization and that being my coach. I'm going to defend her because that was wrong of you. And I didn't say anything disrespectful or I didn't threaten her. She went behind underneath this under my post after I tagged her because I wanted to make sure that you knew that that was disrespectful and you always do that. You always doing crazy stuff. You went so far told me I'm a child and I'm fake because I act like I like you and I don't like you because I talk about you behind your back. Girl, I don't about you. You're nobody for me to talk about. Like, what is my point of talking about you? And then you sit here and you tell me that you about to get your husband to come beat my ass. So if you want your husband to come beat my ass, girl, for what? Over a competition of me speaking the truth? I went on the post. You tagged my coach in the post, and I'm going to defend her. I don't give a damn what anybody has to say about it. That's my coach. I'm going to defend her. She didn't say anything wrong to you. She addressed you in a group chat with everybody else that was a part of the competition. She did not step foot outside. She didn't pass. She didn't tag you. You tagged it for the world to see. So you wanted to bring the fucking kitchen outside. So I was the one that was gonna cook on that motherfucker.
mhm. So let me ask y'all this. What could she have done? I don't even know if that's a valid question because this is her second comment. Well, this is not technically her second competition because Pam has thrown on other competitions. What do you think that she could have done differently?
I just feel like at the begin at the beginning, it should have just been organized and the package should have been stated to be cleared. I feel like if her and her partner in crime that was with her throughout the whole show would have been on the same exact page, we wouldn't have had any issues. If they would have ran the show the way that it needed to run as far as being in place where they needed to be, it wouldn't have had no issues. That to me is a problem. Like I'm only gonna speak for my when it comes to toxically, I'm a diehard person for that. I built this thing from the ground up, and I know like all coaches have. But to me, it's special to me. It's my baby. It's what I love. I live, breathe, eat, sleep. This is my baby. Like I'm not about to allow anybody to disrespect any of my coaches, any of my kids, any of my parents. I'm not that type of person because at the end of the day, these kids work their ass off. My coaches come in here do not get paid a dime by me, and they bring their ass in here every fucking week, and they back and forth, making sure these kids work, and they have to deal with my bullshit. So at the end of the day, ain't nobody else gonna fuck with them, and that's just the hard truth. And at the end of the day, when it comes to a competition, you have to be organized. And for it to be Augusta, it's always something wrong with Augusta, something wrong with Augusta, something wrong with Augusta. But when I hosted my competition, that shit ran smooth. There was no issues. We started at 12, we was out by 4. I don't know. I'm not understanding. And I had like six teams. So why do we have these issues? It was smooth. I made my money. I was able to do my fundraising and do my fundraising piece. Everybody would loved it. They came. We had fun. It was cool. I don't understand why is it always something that these people that are hosting competitions that don't have the backing to do it, I guess, or have the intelligence to do it. If you don't have that, get somebody to help you.
So Scooter said we ran the show, meaning the teams, and that's what caused a lot of issues.
Yes, and he is exactly right. He is exactly right. We had to put that shit together because it was always if Pam was saying something to Boom, we were saying something. He is telling the truth.
It was way too much of what y'all want to do. What do y'all want to do, and not much of hey, this is how the show is going to go, and it's going to be executed. If that makes sense, yeah, that makes sense, Scooter. So basically, because everything was just not even clear and concise. And I guess my question to the 18s that was up there, at what point did y'all see like, oh, maybe this is not a good show for us to go to? Because evidently this did not just start at the comp, this started prior to
It
the
did.
comp.
It did, and it started before. And
So you guys, so I'm sure y'all received the registration packet, right?
yeah,
And the registration packet, was it not clear?
it was not. It was so that's when the
So
question started happening.
therefore, y'all
We
y'all
signed up
gotta
for it.
y'all gotta take some accountability on
Now,
that
now
part.
one thing I'm not gonna do is say that I'm not gonna take account because I signed my ass up for this. I did. I
Mhm,
did. I take full responsibility for that. But the only reason I did not pull out of this competition is because my girls wanted to compete, and I wanted to bring something that was local. And I just wanted to make sure that they competed because, like I said before, I'm not a competing team. I don't compete like that. You'll see me out there. You'll see me do stuff in a community, but I don't compete. So this was my girls. They wanted to compete, so I gave them that opportunity to.
mhm,
And I'm gonna give I feel like each team that hit that floor today, those dancers put they all into that. That was work that you seen on that floor,
mhm.
and I just feel like it was not respected. That's my point.
Yeah.
And I feel like as a host, and like I said, I didn't have an issue with Pam until you I didn't have. I was not going to say anything. It was not the only reason I said something. The only reason I even came onto your show is because she made that post. If
Mhm,
she wouldn't have said nothing and you called me, I wouldn't be having this conversation with you.
mhm,
But you're not gonna make a post about my coach because I literally was about to go live myself. I was gonna go live myself and I was gonna tag her and like what we're gonna do because you just threatened me and I don't take threats lightly.
mhm. The lack of communication and understanding from all parties contributed to the issues as well. So this whole again, like I told y'all prior to us coming on live, I'm sorry that this was y'all experience. I mean, congratulations on y'all taking grand champion. I see it, but I kind of this is what I'll say. I don't. I feel like that's a freebie. I feel like it's a gimmick, and I'm gonna say why. Because every team should be able to battle everybody. It should not be, oh, team such and such, a team such and such. Because what if you have an elite team that just carries the other three teams through, and those scores from the team may not be as strong as that elite team, but elite team, y'all know they clearly came and pulled y'all through because they are a heavy hitting team, and maybe another team may not be heavy hitting. I feel like that's getting the benefit off of another team, in my opinion. This is just me. It's
I
getting the
mean, I
benefit
get that. I
of another team that may have put in that may be that elite team, and then you got other teams that may not be as strong as that team. So
I mean,
it's not really in a fair advantage. I mean, yes, everybody wins grand champion, but you got a team that probably has invested a lot more than you see. And I'm not talking about y'all. I'm just talking about in general.
mhm.
Um, it's I feel like it's a freebie. I feel like it's a gimmick. I feel like it's a gimmick to say, oh, we gonna do for grand champions and the team. Like it's just, and then you got situations like this. Like we always know, teams register and they drop out. So
Mhm.
now, whoever that team that had four, now they're down to three. Now they're at an unfair advantage because now they don't even have a fourth team to be able to try to carry them through. So basically, the other team that has four has officially won the competition. They won
I
it.
mean, I mean, and I
Unless
understand that.
all them teams, them 3 teams, all them got perfect scores in each category, which not saying it can't happen, but I haven't seen it. That would have been the only way that they would have actually won grand champion.
I mean, and I truly
Well,
understand
I
that.
don't even think that would even work anyway because y'all still got 14, so it still would have been an unfair advantage. It still was an unfair advantage for team dynamic anyway. So I feel like going forward, that might not be the best thing to do because, again, teams that say they're gonna do it, they drop out. We know that this happens. So, like I told you guys before, I'm sorry that was the experience that y'all had with Pam. Um, I hope y'all take this as a learning lesson. Um, and I tell everybody all the time, I'm just saying, you can't take your team to everybody's show. You can't
Right.
support everybody's show that has a show. You can't just jump on the bandwagon because you see, oh, we got a possibility. So if we're on this team, we're gonna win. Like I think it's became
So
too much. Not saying that that's y'all. Not saying that y'all.
no,
I'm
no,
just
no,
saying.
no. That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying the reason I joined the show is just because I wanted to do a show for my girls, and I
Okay.
was and it was a respect for Sheila, like it was a respect for Sheila. So
Yeah.
and I like I said even when we were doing when we were going again when we started dancing, it was like I kept saying I wanted to be fair. Like I'm not one, like I said, I'm not one that's just gonna be like, okay, boom. I'm not gonna just point out and be like, oh, I'm trying to do something just to be petty. I wanted to make sure that my girls had a fair chance out there. If they didn't make it, they didn't make it. I honestly would have rather us go head to head like our normal battle, but Sheila begged me to do this competition.
So and that's what I'm saying though too, Thomas. This once that team dropped out, and I'm not gonna lie, I think Pam knew prior to. That team did not just drop out that day.
I
They
know.
did. Pam knew prior to it, and she knew that maybe if she would have told them that a team dropped out, the other 3 teams would have been like, because now it's unfair. She didn't tell y'all until y'all were already there. I'm telling y'all what it was. She did not find out that day that lady had that unfortunate situation. She knew prior to. She knew.
She did.
She knew. And I'm going to tell you how she knew. Because if that's the case, then that coach has other coaches. She could have still sent the team and dealt with her situation on her own. The whole team did not have to suffer because of that unfortunate circumstance. She could have said, you know what, you guys, this is something I'm dealing with. Y'all go out there and make me proud, whatever the case may be. And let's go ahead and see you know what I'm saying? But you put Beyond Elite and Platinum Pressure and Indulgence Dance Company. Now they're just out there performing at this point because the other teams still got an advantage because they got 4 teams. That's what sucks about the situation. And that's why I understand why Platinum Pressure is feeling the way he is. I'm sure Beyond Elite is feeling some type of way and Indulgence because they all came and traveled to Augusta thinking that they had a fair advantage and it
And
wasn't
I
a 4-4.
and I agree on that. Like I'm not like I said I agree on that. I feel like it was unfair. Um, but I mean, at the end of the day, it was at that part. I mean, what nothing I can do about that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no,
And
it's nothing y'all could have
you know
done.
what I'm saying?
I'm just saying,
Like,
speaking
and
like,
I respect every last one of the teams that was there. It's I just feel like you said, the concept of the show was just kind of weird.
mhm.
Um,
Yeah. The concept is definitely. If this is what I will say, the idea is not silly. The idea is actually unique. However, you would have to have some heavy hitting teams on both sides, like
mm,
undeniably. Like we talk about Dancing Cloverleaf, Prince and Tigerette, FRDT, For the Love of Dance on one team, and then having Donnie team and Divas of Compton and Fame Elite and Prince and Dancerettes on another. You would have to have 4
yeah,
heavy teams on each of those things to make it make sense. And
yeah,
if you
and I
don't have that, it's an unfair advantage because you got heavy hitters on one squad and then you have teams that are still good but may not be as heavy hitting as those other ones. So again, I understand what he's saying. That's still an unfair advantage for school.
yes. I understand. I agree with that. I mean, I like. unfortunately, I came out. Well, fortunately for me, I came out on the winning side, and I was. And I'm not gonna lie, my team wasn't the best team. I'm not delusional. So at the end of the day, I understand. Like I said, I understand that. I thought it was fucked up from the jump when it all started. Like
Well, I
so,
would just say this, you guys. Take this as a lesson learned.
it
Take
is.
this as something that you guys can, okay, you know what? We did it. We said we did it. This is not necessarily, and sometimes, I understand y'all have to try a competition to figure out if it works for y'all. And this is one of those situations where we went, we experienced it. This is not our experience. It's not something that we can see our kids doing in the future because, again, we no matter what team it is, whether it was y'all or whether it was Platinum Pressure, everybody should be wanting it to be fair on all level playing field. It should not be, damn, like fuck, like, I'm saying, like, now they just, they're not even going to be in the running now, because of how the rules are set. Again, that's one of those things where I say it's a gimmick. It's not going to work. It's not going to work unless you have 4 amazing teams on each team, and for a fact that they have invested money, they're coming for sure. That's the only way that will work. So,
Yeah.
Pam, I'm sure she's looking at the live. Pam, going forward, you might need to go ahead and kind of scale back on this, and probably this is not the best thing for you to do because evidently these teams, and it's all teams, even a winning team. This is a winning team. They had an issue. There's other teams that won that's had an issue. They have an issue. They don't like how their experience was supposed to be a pleasant one, and you are nowhere to be found. Coaches are having to run your show for you. Your MC or your host of the show has left you. He's nowhere to be found. The teams are having to run the show when it's supposed to be y'all show. Like, these are things that parents go back and talk about. And what we talk about all the time is that when these parents go back to the coaches, they're expressing their grievances to the coaches to tell them, why did we sign up for this competition? Why did we waste our time? Why do we waste our money? Why do we take off of work? Why do we have to do all this? These are stuff that they have to get back. And people start leaving people's teams because they feel like the coach should have made a better judgment on what competition they were going to. And that it would be like, no one wants to go to a competition feel like we just wasted our time.
Correct.
Like, why did we even come?
Correct.
And if that was the case, this is my opinion. Since Scooter said that it was more over what do y'all want to do instead of what it is, then that should have been a situation to say, you know what? It's 3 of us and it's 4 of them. Now we just need to make it an open category. Now everybody's just going to battle each other. It's not going to be team against team. Everybody still has an opportunity to battle. You still got 8 teams that can compete, but we're not going to do it to where you guys said it because now a team has dropped. Now we have an unfair advantage. So we already know what team is going to win because they have 4 teams and we have 3. So that would have been a executive decision for Pam and the other coach, the other one to make. So that way it would have been clear and concise. There was no issue. Everybody now has to compete against each other because unfortunately we had a team drop out. I'm sure the teams would have been okay with it. I'm sure the teams would have been like, you know what? It makes sense. We want it to be fair on all fields. It's not fair for them. So y'all, let's just go ahead and do all the categories as a whole, as one big division. And whoever has the highest score, they just win grand champion. And she could even did it this way. We could have said, okay, the highest score could have been, they got 500. The second part, if you're giving out 500 to each first place, each grand champion anyway, you're going to still dividend that $2,000 up with all the placements.
Right.
You could have still did it to where first, second, third, fourth, fifth, y'all could have still did it to where y'all could have awarded for the top 4 teams with the highest score. Y'all still could have awarded them money, but it would have just been whoever had the highest score received the grand champion. And that would have been fine. That would have been an executive decision. They're like, okay, cool. Now 4 teams still get an opportunity to win. It may not be all $500, but you are still allowing them to give them that opportunity to still place first, second, third, and fourth place overall.
Correct.
So, people just don't know how to think on their toes. And unfortunately, in this situation, some people honestly throw on shows and they really don't have the know-how to even think on their toes. And this is one of the situations where I don't think that Pam or the other one really kind of thought, like y'all said, y'all had to step in and run her show. She didn't really have the know-how or knew the know-how of what to do. So it's unfortunate. But Thomas, I do appreciate you guys coming on here and stating your piece. I really hope that you guys can come to some type of resolutions where y'all can, have a conversation and talk and Again, because y'all have had run-ins in the past, and this is how she is. I can only hope for the best. So you guys have a great night. Congratulations on y'all win. I really hope that you guys just still practice and try to make it to another comp.
No, we definitely will. It's not gonna stop us.
All right, baby. Well, you have a wonderful night.
All right, you too.
Bye-bye. All right, y'all. So that's it. That's all. I just, I wanted to make sure that I kind of give it to you guys, not from my mouth. It was from his. I'm just mediating. Again, I did invite Pam on the live. She declined to come on the live for her reasons. And, I just wanted to be fair. But again, you guys, I hope this kind of give you guys some type of insight on, what to actually look out for, the red flags to look out for. When doing competition. It's okay to pull out of competition. It's okay to tell your parents, we're going to find another competition if y'all don't feel right. You know what I'm saying? So just keep in mind, everything happens for a reason. But y'all, I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here. I have to run somewhere. So I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. This has been another episode of the Majorette T. I hopefully don't have to come back again, but baby, we will. Y'all have a great night.
T stands for teaching. E stands for educating, and A stands for bringing awareness, and that's exactly what we are doing. Somebody put me in beef flat because I feel like I'm about to go there. Oh, I feel my hip coming up. T stands for teaching. E stands for educating, and A stands for bringing awareness, and that's exactly what we are doing. Somebody put me in beef flat because I feel like I'm about to go there.